Welcome to Conserving Carolina's virtual holiday gift exchange. Thank you so much for joining us. It was indeed a long, cold flight down from the North Pole, but I had to be here to give you some really great presents. Sit back now and enjoy the magic of the season as we open these gifts together.
Wow, so cool that Santa is joining us tonight. It must be a really special evening. Welcome and thank you for joining us from wherever you are. We would like to acknowledge that the projects featured in this event are held on the traditional lands of the Cherokee people, the Yuchi people, and the Catawba people. Conserving Carolina pays respect to elders both past and present. At Conserving Carolina, we have a great tradition of holiday gatherings in person at many of the wonderful places in our region. Of course, in this year, unlike any other, we really appreciate that you're joining us in this virtual way for this holiday celebration. In this season of gratitude, I want to express my strong appreciation to you, our members and friends, who've done so much to sustain our work this year and many years leading up to this. Everything that we'll talk about tonight, all the gifts we have to share, have been made possible through your generous and loyal support. Here in the Conserving Carolina region, we live in an area of great abundance of natural treasures and resources. And so I am especially excited to talk tonight and to share with you these gifts to add to that wonderful conservation of these resources. Now let's open our first present and discover what's inside.
The Ecusta Trail is a 19-mile rail-to-trail greenway project from downtown Hendersonville to Brevard. Conserving Carolina started working on the Ecusta Trail project in early 2020, building on the work of the Friends of the Ecusta Trail and other community members who have been supporting the trail for more than 10 years. We are under contract with the railroad to purchase the corridor from Blue Ridge Southern Railroad, and then we'll work with local governments to design and construct the actual trail. The first phase of construction will begin in Hendersonville and extend almost to the French Broad River in the community of Etowah. We anticipate completing the purchase of the corridor in the spring or early summer of 2021, and the design and construction of the first phase of the Greenway will begin later that year and hopefully be completed in 2022.
The trail is meant to be an economic development tool. It's meant to be a health tool to get exercise, get outside, and also provide some alternative transportation for those that wish to use it to commute to work or go to the store. Yeah, I'm excited on the uses of the trail because it'll provide sort of a multimodal trail. We have a lot of trails now. Everybody says, why do you need more trails? We've got trails in the forest, and that they're pretty technical, but we'll have a path that mothers and their strollers can use, or elderly people just to get out and get some exercise and get connected to nature, get outside and socialize. I'm excited to get it established and to see the positive changes it'll bring to the area as far as exercise, as getting out into nature, and as far as connecting to other trail systems in the region, I think.
I'm really excited about the Ecusta Trail because of its length and because it goes through a really beautiful area of the county. The Ecusta Trail is one of the key parts of the master plan for greenways that the county recently put together. The idea is to have a network of 70 miles of greenways over the next 30 years, and this is a tremendous start. The Ecusta Trail will be really important for our community for two reasons. First, for the health benefits of the people who live here, and second, for the economic benefits. Tourism is a pillar of our economy here in Hendersonville, and studies have been done all over the country, and what they show is that people tourists come to places where there are trails, they stay longer where there are trails, and they return to places where there are trails. And so this should really be important to our economy. I think the Ecusta Trail will also be really important for environmental education. It's really important for kids to get outside, to see birds. The Ecusta Trail will go through a variety of communities, and I think it will really change the way children grow up and their ideas about the outdoors.
I'm a physician, and I've seen the ravages of obesity and inactivity in our community, and there's an opportunity with the Ecusta Trail for people to get out, get exercise, and not even know they're doing it. It's an opportunity to walk in nature, experience the outdoors, and become more comfortable in the outdoors and see the value of conservation. It will connect people of all ages and abilities and different backgrounds, bringing more cohesion to society. It'll promote health and enrich our quality of life and the economy for everyone.
Conserving Carolina is honored to be a part of this project, and we're excited about the opportunities that it offers community members to get closer to nature. You can find more information about the Ecusta Trail, including ways to volunteer or donate, at ecustatrail.org. We look forward to seeing you out on the Ecusta Trail.
I'm most excited about this trail, one, because it connects two of our most popular and most beautiful trails. You start off either at the top of Bear Wallow Mountain, one of like the best vistas we have in the Upper Hickory Nut Gorge in Western North Carolina, and you can meander on down to this meadow in the saddle between Wildcat Rock and Bear Wallow. One, it's been a long journey to get this finished. It's been a powerful year of lots of volunteer work, but it's truly just absolutely glorious. And I'm happy to get people out here, especially during a time where people really need to get outside.
Yeah, so this gives an additional challenge, but also gives additional options of where you want to start your hike or how long you want to do your hike. Because it starts at the base of Wildcat Rock, you have options to hike at Florence Nature Preserve, then walk over to Wildcat, hike up that, and then continue this trail all the way up to Bear Wallow. You can hike Bear Wallow, and then you could even hike Trombatory after that. So if you're real adventurous, you could get in easily 13 miles, but this also just allows you to do an out and back to this meadow, and just gives you an option to even shuttle from the top of Bear Wallow down, or if you want an uphill battle, you can shuttle down to the top from Wildcat Rock to Bear Wallow Mountain. But what's almost the most interesting part of this trail, it might look like one of our best trails that we've put into place yet. As you walk in through the woods at the backside of Bear Wallow, the rock work there and just the meandering through the rhododendrons and the old growth forest is pretty remarkable. And so while it is a connector trail where it doesn't have like a set viewpoint or endpoint destination, it's one of the most best looking and should be the most sustainable trails in our network yet.
Wow, so exciting to hear about all our new trails and greenways. I cannot wait to get out on them. And I can't wait to see what our next gift is.
Hi, I'm David Lee, the Natural Resources Manager at Conserving Carolina. Over the past 10 years, we have been involved in some really exciting restoration projects, many of which have greatly benefited the French Broad River. Today, I want to share with you a couple of our more recent projects. But before I do, I want you to know that with all of our projects, we are going beyond just protecting the land and its natural resources. We're actually working to bring back wetlands, floodplains, healthy streams, and diverse forested landscapes that have been degraded and lost to human development over the last 100 years. These restoration projects have an amazing potential to benefit our native flora and fauna, including many species deemed threatened and endangered. But they are also really important for people too. These projects improve water quality by stabilizing eroding stream banks, filtering polluted runoff, and allowing groundwater to recharge. They assist in climate change mitigation and adaptation by sequestering carbon, preserving biodiversity, and buffering us from large storm events. These projects also greatly contribute to our need for outdoor recreation by providing public access for things like hiking, fishing, boating, and nature observation. These restoration projects show how connected we all are. As it turns out, people need many of the same things that birds and fish and other wildlife do. We all need a clean, healthy river, and we all depend on the ecological processes that nature provides. Restoration is an ambitious, hopeful, and necessary approach, even more so in the times that we're living in now. And that's why we're so excited to have numerous restoration projects in various stages along the French Broad River right now. You might have heard about the project we just completed on 103 acres at the mouth of Mud Creek on the French Broad River in Fletcher. One exciting component of this restoration was the creation of 3 muskie sloughs. These are areas of slow-moving backwater connected directly to the river. They provide critical habitat for a well-known sport fish, the muskellunge, or muskie for short. These sloughs allow muskie and other aquatic wildlife to get out of the strong current of the French Broad River so they can rest, shelter, find food, and breed. We know that muskie are already using these newly constructed sloughs, and in fact, they're coming from as far as 20 miles away, which is really cool. We also created a series of braided wetlands, which help filter pollutants, but also will provide great habitat for animals like salamanders, toads, frogs, turtles, and even bats. Additionally, we removed invasive plants, reforested the floodplain, and planted a pollinator meadow to help support our declining pollinator species, including the monarch butterfly. We also recently completed a restoration project at Carolina Memorial Sanctuary, which is a conservation burial ground that Conserving Carolina helped to protect in Mills River. At the sanctuary, we found that there was a former wetland on the site. At some point, that wetland was buried with almost a foot of fill dirt. As part of this restoration, we removed that fill and we actually brought the wetland back. As this land comes back to life with plants and animals, it also offers a place of healing and solace for the families that lay their loved ones to rest. These exciting recent projects add to our growing number of restoration sites in the French Broad River watershed that are now providing vital habitat and ecosystem services. In the headwaters of the French Broad River near Rosamond, we assisted with an ambitious project to regrade severely eroding stream banks. This restoration prevented tons of sediment from entering the French Broad River, helping to provide crystal clear, cold water where hellbenders, brook trout, and several native mussel species can now thrive. Around Flat Rock, we restored a stream and wetland at our Rush Mountain property, and we've also restored and enhanced several rare mountain bogs at 2 other sites in Flat Rock. These bogs provide habitat to some of our most endangered plants and animals. With all of that said, we've still got a lot of momentum. Looking forward, we already have 3 new restoration projects on the docket. We are planning a natural floodplain restoration on our Pleasant Grove property in Etowah. We're also in the planning phase for a floodplain restoration on the East Fork of the French Broad River near Rosamond. And we've just acquired a property in Mills River that is an excellent candidate for restoration. In addition to these upcoming projects, we're thinking more about the big picture. This fall, we were awarded a planning grant to prioritize the protection and restoration of other floodplain properties in the Upper French Broad River watershed. This prioritization and planning project is sure to help facilitate dozens more beneficial restoration projects in the future. As you can see, with all of your help, we're making a real difference for the French Broad, and we know our continued efforts will make this river and our region even more beautiful and vibrant than it is today. Thank you for your support.
Ho, ho, ho! I hope you're enjoying these wonderful gifts. I just wished I could take credit for all of them. These projects happen because of you and your generous support. Thank you for giving the gift of conservation.
You might already know the story of how we were able to save 1,000 acres on Little White Oak Mountain in Polk County. It was with strong local support from people like you. Now, we want to update you on what's happening with that land. From outdoor education to affordable housing, mountain biking trails, and land for fishing and hunting. Little White Oak Mountain is a scenic landmark in Polk County and a natural treasure, but it was almost lost to development. We had the opportunity to protect 1,000 acres of the mountain, and that was actually the project that brought 2 local land trusts together, the Pacolet Area Conservancy and Carolina Mountain Land Conservancy. Now we're excited to see so many different community benefits coming out of the land that we protected at Little White Oak Mountain.
Traditionally in conservation, we work to protect values like scenic beauty, places for people to enjoy the outdoors, clean water, and wildlife habitat. At Little White Oak Mountain, we were also able to do all of that and also work with some new partners to benefit the community in more ways. This map shows how the land we purchased at Little White Oak Mountain is being used now. 2 years ago, 900 acres of the land that we purchased became protected land. The 600 acres that you see in green became part of the Green River Game Lands. At the same time, the 300 acres you see in brown became a local Polk County Park, which connects to Polk County Middle School. We're hopeful that the land you see in orange will also become part of that local park. And the parcel you see in pink was a parcel that had relatively low conservation value, but was a good site for housing. So we reached out to another local nonprofit, the Housing Assistance Corporation. Last fall, we transferred approximately 30 acres to them to build workforce housing, and we've gone on to partner with them at other sites as well. We were even able to work with the Green Infrastructure Center to create a conservation site design that preserves 2/3 of the forest cover for the new neighborhood.
Thank you for helping us protect Little White Oak Mountain for nature, trails, schools, jobs, housing, and so much more.
What a great gift that was. I'm so thankful for all of the people that made the Little White Oak Mountain project possible. It makes me think of all the many landowners that work with us to protect their land in perpetuity. Let's take a moment to hear from a few of these amazing people.
My grandmother back in Venezuela had a plantation, a coffee plantation. And the name of that coffee plantation, San Felipe, is the same name that we chose for this farm. We feel this is a unique place in the sense that the beauty is unique, the location is unique. It is truly a special place. Conserving Carolina is the group that we chose for our conservation easement. We believe they are the right people to do this for us. Conserving Carolina is involved in the community more often than anybody else. We have been in their walks, we have been in their talks. So it's not just a conservation entity, but also is involved in all different facets of the community. We have 32 ewes, that is 32 sheep, and we have a ram as well as 9 lambs. We have a cow and a calf. We have 2 dogs that guard the sheep. And we have 42 chickens that lay eggs for us and our neighbors. We sell the eggs to our neighbors.
I'm Babs Strickland, and my husband Bob and I are the owners of Walnut Creek Preserve. Bob and I lost our daughter, Anne, when she was 22 in a plane crash. She loved teaching kids about nature. She loved going out in the woods. We had lived on a farm before. So we felt that to honor her, we wanted to create a small, at that time, educational forest in her name. We weren't able to find a piece of land that we could buy that was small, but we had the opportunity. An invitation came on Valentine's Day in 2003, inviting us to bid on this 2,000 acres. And so with trepidation, we took it on, and we went to our local land trust because we knew that we wanted this land protected forever. So the land trust was a partner with us in making sure this land would be permanently set aside as a forest with an educational component, with a wildlife component, and with trails for riding and hiking for people who live on the edge.
One of my favorite things about the holiday season is the music. We are fortunate tonight to hear from Grammy Award-winning artist Darren Nicholson of Balsam Range.
Hi there, this is Darren Nicholson with Balsam Range, wishing you the happiest holidays and a very Merry Christmas. Thank you so much for supporting Conserving Carolina.
Thank you for joining us tonight. It is so good to see you. No doubt this pandemic year of 2020 has broadened many of my perspectives on what is important and meaningful in life. Not to get deeply philosophical, but it has also broadened my perspective on the importance of the work of Conserving Carolina. With so many of our familiar gathering places closed down to the public, the natural outdoor landscapes, our close by, nearby trails and greenways have provided a place of escape and safety for family and friends to gather outdoors. They have provided respite, joy, and connectivity. With these natural outdoor settings being so important to us right now, I consider them a great gift that we have received during this year of the pandemic. I want to encourage you to find ways to support the work of Conserving Carolina and the gifts that we have brought to the community. Take a hike with a friend. Make a year-end gift. Volunteer to help maintain a trail. Talk to your elected officials about the importance of the Ecusta Trail and other trails to you. We are so deeply grateful for the gifts of your support to Conserving Carolina, and we cannot thank you enough. During this holiday season, I wish for you more respite, more joy, and more connectivity to the natural world. Thank you.
Oh ho! Hearing about all these new trails and conserved places has got me so excited. I think I'll head out for a hike on that Bear Wallow Trail. But don't worry, I'll be done in time to deliver your presents too. Thank you again for joining us this evening. Happy holidays, Merry Christmas, and to all a good night.